Now you see it, and now you don't, and now you see it, and now you don't. Welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. G'day everyone, it's Deggy here, and I'm back, and today we're going to be bringing a little bit of magic. You know, there's often times where you want to hide and reveal things in this game, whether it's a jump scare or making some really cool scenery effects. Making things go invisible is something that I've always wanted, but it's not in the game yet, and maybe we just need to use a bit of creative engineering to figure that out. So without further ado, let me just bring up my little handy dandy magic wand. Here it is, floating about, and yeah, we'll run the sequence and you can have a look at just how easy we can make things disappear.
Onda, Ula, Ere, Dawn!
And of course, we can bring them all back too. So here they are, going through the loop. It's the invisibility device, and I've got this and a whole range of sliders which we can now control with extended pauses. I'm going to show you how to build it all with a much more simpler device than some of the previous methods that we've shown on this channel. So stick around and I hope you have fun. Well, I feel like a bit of a mad professor with this device. Something out of James Bond, the invisibility device. And if you download from my workshop the invisibility device, you'll get something that looks a bit like this. And you can place it down. And I've got here my little digger ready to demonstrate. And you'll see that it's quite a complicated piece, and I'm using it because I wanted to show you that it doesn't really matter how complex your scene is. If it's attached to the invisibility device, it can be hidden. So on the device, there's a blue moving platform, and what you want to do is take anything like this digger, and if I edit it and select all of it, and then move it with add to building on, I can attach it to the attachment point. Now, if I place it down, doesn't matter where it is in the scene, if it's attached to that blue motor, it will hide. So I can play disappear, and it goes away. And even with this animation going, you know, it's a very complicated piece of scenery, I can still hide it and have it reappear, and it won't sort of matter, it won't interrupt it. So anything attached is the key. Now, if we have a look at the sequencer, it's called disappear, and we edit it, there is two nodes, invisible 1 and invisible 2. And all you have to do is to create the length that you would like for that invisibility to happen. And you can overlap them, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be neat. Provided that you have something showing in the timeline, then it will be invisible for that period of time. And the reverse is true, so if there's nothing here, then it will be visible. So invisible, 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 appear, invisible, appear again. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if we come into and double click on the blue guy again as well, and we just move this way up into the air, I just want to show you that it doesn't really matter to a point where it is in the scene. If I try and make it high from here, it still works. There it goes. So yeah, anytime we want to hide it, not a problem. And yeah, that's the tricky madness which you're going to see in a minute as we come and recreate this. So let's get stuck in. Oh hey, and before we get into the tutorial, I just wanted to say it's been 1 year of my YouTube channel and 1 year of Planet Coaster 2. If you've liked, subscribed, become a member, thank you so much for all your support. Every comment means a lot, and I really do appreciate this community, which is full of creative people who just want to have fun. So here's to many more, and yeah, let's get on with the tutorial. But thank you again, and I really do appreciate every one of you. Sometimes it's just easier to show you rather than try to explain something. This is built on a lot of my previous tutorials, but hey, let's build a slider with a pause. The first thing you want to do is create a moving platform and set its animation type to one of the 4 linear options here. And I'm going to use very fast for this example. And then you can duplicate it. Make sure snap to position is on. I like to change the color, and then just click to snap it in, and it's done. I can then select it, rotate it 180, move it up, and that's my little offset animation piece. With that done, I can take the whole thing again and duplicate it once more, and then I'm going to try to attach it to the green. Sometimes, like right now, it won't let me attach. So if I just right click and try again, now it will. A little bug, just to make it even more fun, hey? So we'll click on the green, and I'm going to rotate 180 once more, and let's position it over here like so. Now we've got the first half done. Congratulations, hopefully you're still with me. I'm going to duplicate again and attach to the green one over here. Snap it into position. If I then rotate that piece like so and place it like that, that's it. That's the slider with pause. And all we have to do now is come in, get a sequencer, and we're going to add all the orange ones, just the orange ones. See, wasn't that color choice really handy? Pity it doesn't color it here, but we can go ahead and change them anyway. Right, now I'm going to add all the green ones. And again, conveniently makes them orange, but we'll change them all to green. So there you go. Just the fun of hacking the game. All right, so we'll move that 1.1 of a second, offsetting the orange ones. And let's see what we get. So we'll hit play. There you go, a little slider with a pause. Now it looks a bit funky, so I like to take one more motor and we'll put this one on deactivated and we'll make it blue. And now we can attach it to our final piece up here. Just get it in the right spot, like so. And we can now bury all that mess. And here's our little slider. Ta-da! Now the cool thing is, as I've explained in other slider videos, you can adjust the distance. So the way you do that for a one with pause is the same. You have to come in here and pick this green one, and then that'll allow you to select all of this. You can slide that out like that. Now it's a good idea to use the grid so you get an accurate distribution. So I'll come right out again, just double click on that green one there. Going to turn on the snap distance and we'll go 4 meters. Then I right click out of there, double click on that green one, and now I can move this bit back here. Now, the further the distance you put between these pieces, the further the slider will slide. So there it goes, bigger piece now. And we'll bury it back under the ground and none the wiser. So I might need to turn off the grid like so. And yeah, we've got this sort of punchy with pause slider. And if I edit that, and I have a little bit of room here to also adjust when the offset occurs. So adding another 0.1, it'll go even further. So you can control the speed and the distance by doing this, but there is a limit. Basically, this is going to counter those orange motors with the greens, and you can see it starts to go too far, it'll come back a bit. So yeah, it's for these fast ones, there's not a lot of wiggle room, but with a very slow slider, you can really dial it in and create quite a lot of variance. So that's pretty cool. So that is the foundation of the invisibility machine. So let's go have a look at how that's made, and yeah, we can get on with it. Okay, so to create this invisibility device, or we'll simulate making it now, I've got 2 sliders here that we've set up. One's using ultra slow, and if you have a look at how it works, it's going to move nice and smoothly out and then pause. And we can control the offset like we've been talking about. There it is. And this one here is the ultra fast. So it doesn't have a lot of wiggle room, but it can move really, really quickly. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take this one and we're going to zoom right out. And I'm going to move it way over here to this edge of the map. And then I'm going to just bring it up a little bit, and we'll take this part and I'm going to use the snap distance 4 meters. And basically we're going to bring it all the way over here. Mm, 800 meters should do it. And then if I get these trees out of the way, get out of the way, tree, I can take this bit and move it all the way back. And yeah, in my actual example, I think I moved it way outside of the map, even like 3 or 4 times further than this. But this will be perfectly fine for most situations. And yeah, there it is. Now with that done, all I have to do is take the little motor here and we'll just rotate that like so. And I'll just position it something like that. And yeah, we can take orange, I think it is, yep. And then we're going to move it down, if I can very carefully align it. There it is. And here it is. This is our little invisibility machine. So the only difference between that example up there and this one is I've got 2 of those stuck together, and then you can basically alternate the 2 invisibilities to create an indefinite invisibility. And yeah, you just, as I said at the start there, you can control it. So this is on the workshop. I hope you enjoy. So here's a really good practical example. In the shooting game that came with the anniversary update, you can embed targets like this one. And that can cause a trigger. And what I'm getting it to do is to trigger this sequence. So when you shoot it and you need to tell the game to ignore scenery and it will hit the target, there's a couple little special effects in there and it will trigger the invisibility sequence and the explosion. So check this out. If we come in close and we hit shoot, a little explosion, some sparks, and then the balloon disappears. And it can actually be hidden for like, you know, good 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, so that your riders have got enough time to move away. So I think that's a really cool effect. So one of the really cool things you can do with these sliders, with the pauses, is because the pauses go for so long, you can stack them together. And this is an example of 5 sliders all stacked on top of each other. And then we're going to call each slider in succession. So if I hit play, you can see what's going on. And that gives us the ability to create a stepped animation. So this sort of stepped piece up here is really nice. And we can even control individual ones. So I've got like, okay, that one steps, but what if I step those 2 together and then this one, they can come up and you can control basically a hierarchy of motion there, which is really, really useful. So again, this one and yeah, this one, they'll move all 4. That one will just move those 2. They haven't been laid out very well, but you get the idea. And then when you combine the steps like this, yeah, it goes really, really well. Now I'm on a fast forward, so let's go back to the actual speed. And you can see how this might be useful for dropping things in steps or making something move across the screen and go back and forward. So really useful for the new anniversary game, which is the shooting game. So if you attach a target to this, you can basically try all sorts of different cool animations that we can do to make some really cool interactives. So I'm going to go over to my little balloon example. And yeah, what I've done is I've attached this sort of house to one of those series of steps. And inside each balloon here, if we pull it away, is a target. Now each balloon is set to one of those invisibility triggers. So when you hit the target, it will sequence the balloon to play a little pop animation and then disappear. And what's cool is that some of these targets at the back will cause the house to drop because it's on a very yeah, complicated stepper. So here's all the device and all the bits and pieces to make this possible. But let's have a look at it in action. So I'm going to test the track and you can see that we can basically pop the balloons and cause the house to shift its position, which is really cool. And as a crude example, I'm going to do hopefully a heap more of this type of thing, but yeah, have a look. So there you have it, the house is going down. I've also got some other examples where the targets sort of drop and you can get a sequence of different targets doing different things, like this barrel shooting water out. So yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully you found it useful and there's lots more to come. So hope you have a wonderful week. Cheers everyone.